I love this boat. Today on Just Create, I have a list of things I want to achieve. We'll see how far we get, but there's 3 main things I wish to do. The first one involves my power supply on the mountain. Having a chain drive going across here looks absolutely horrible, so what we're actually going to do is route it down through the mountain, underneath the ground here, and then back up again. And we're going to need to do that in all the different places we need it, which is going to be a bit of a pain, but it should look better, and it will save us having chains going around everywhere. Secondly, storage. Last episode, I was complaining that we'd filled up 8 of our vaults, but now we're actually all the way round to here, because I did a whole lot of mining last episode, so we are fast running out of space. So we're going to take a leaf out of Foxy's books and we're going to make some kind of a backpack storage system in here instead, which means we'll have less lag, we'll have more storage space, and it shouldn't even take up as much space either. Main thing I want to try and get to, however, is to make a Prismarine farm. It's one of the key blocks I'm using for roofs over in this area. Well, at least dark Prismarine is. And although Chosen sells it from his RV, I don't know where his RV actually is, or if he's even gone to collect it yet, but if he hasn't, then he wouldn't have restocked it. So, my plan is to make my own Prismarine farm. And it's a farm I've never made before using purely Create mechanics, so I'm looking forward to it. It's always nice to build new things. Busy day, let's get started. So, moving the power, I think what I'm going to do is just jam a shaft that goes all the way down, then we can use chain drives to link it underneath, and then we can go back up again, and then we can just sort of connect to that and go up in all the different places where we're going to need it. First up, let's route the power down into the ground, and then I just need to dig a hole that goes down deep enough. Oh, jeez. Yep, forgot about the lava pits. Thankfully, because I've got my netherite diving helmet stuff on, I'm actually okay, but that could have been a whole lot worse. So, I think what we're going to do is connect that shaft down to the roof of the lava pits, and then we'll move it over into the wall a bit more. Right, now we can keep digging down, hopefully a bit more safely this time. So we're at Y175, so this is the level we're going to aim for. What I'm actually going to do is dig myself a little tunnel that goes this way. So the lowest point of the mountain is just over here, but if I can make an entrance so I can get to this chain drive in future, it's going to make it much easier to connect up more power. There we go, we'll just leave a sneaky little hole there for now. Then I can always get back here and connect more chains to it. That's that chain drive hooked up. We'll connect to that. Now let's remove that. And basically, this is where we need to connect it up. So hopefully we can just dig all the way down to Y175, which is right there. We'll connect up our chain drive and get this connected back into the farm. And hopefully it's still going to be spinning in the right direction for us. And it looks like it is. Perfect. Awesome. Now we don't have a chain stretched across our mountain. And I can remove this. That's the first thing on our list already done today. And something else I forgot to mention is we also need to hand out some theme park invites. I have managed to get Perfect World 2 back up on a server, and it appears the music might even work for everyone, which would be nice. But I do need to hand out those invites, and I imagine we'll probably visit the theme park in the next episode. Kind of depends how long all this stuff takes me, to be honest. Right, so next thing I want to do is sort out my ship storage system. So this is going to be quite a big job, but I think I have a plan. First thing I'm going to do is make everything I hope I could ever possibly need to be able to make this work and put all that in a separate backpack. And then I'm probably just going to glue all the bolts together and move them outside the boat. And then from there, I can work out how to install the backpack system and hopefully just offload everything from these into the backpacks, which is probably going to take quite a while to do. But if I don't get started, I'll never get it done. So let's start by making a whole bunch of backpacks. Let's start with 10. That means we're going to need 30 backpack upgrades. Then we're going to need an obscene amount of iron, gold, and diamonds. So I guess it's time to go make a huge withdrawal at the bank. But first, let's just turn all of these into iron backpacks and then upgrade them to gold. Back before I go, I'm also going to make these stack upgrades, at least up to gold level. Now we just need to sort out the diamond stuff. Now, after the last mining session at the end of last episode, we now have 12,000 diamonds. Foxy's the closest behind me with 7,800. The question is, how many am I going to need to make this work? Let's start with a couple of thousand. Okay, so that's all the stack upgrades done. So now I just need to open every backpack and give it 3 diamond tier stack upgrades. Okay, there we go. We now have 10 diamond level backpacks with 3 diamond stack tier upgrades, which means each slot can hold 32,000 items. There's 108 slots in every bag, which means each bag is going to be able to hold roughly 3.5 million items. And as we've got 10 bags, that's over 30 million items we'll be able to store in this system. That should be plenty. Just come to Chosen's Mall to buy a few components we're going to need for this. Now, something has just occurred to me. I was going to stick all of this together so we can rip it out and move it, but the problem is my entire boat is already stuck together. So if I try and move these with super glue, then my entire boat's going to go with it. So how am I going to do this? Maybe I just need to empty this storage system first? Somehow? It's a bit of a chicken and the egg situation, really, isn't it? I need my new storage to be able to empty that storage, but then I need to be able to empty that storage so I can build my new storage. So I think what I might need to do is set up some kind of temporary storage system. So let's think about this. If I put a belt there, which we run all the way to here, get that belt powered. And here we'll just put a row of backpacks, funnels going into them. The only other thing I need to do is filter out, because if we keep sending non-stackable items into here, they're going to fill up these slots a whole lot quicker, and then we're going to end up with a bit of a mishmash storage. Whereas this way, if we're only filtering stackable items, it will always go into a bag that already has that item in, and if there's no space, it will then move on to the next one. And that's going to make much more efficient use of our storage. And I don't know how much unstackable stuff I've got at the moment, so instead of putting a vault down, I'm just going to put another 3 bags. They'll collect stuff as well. Let's make sure we block that off. Now I just need a filter, and we can start emptying our storage. So we just need any non-stackable item. There we go, cannot stack, perfect. So cannot stack will come out there. We're also going to do a deny list for cannot stack, just to make sure those items don't come out this side. Just going to check this filter. Yep, I thought so. I forgot to actually click the plus button. Now if we just start emptying out this vault, and this one, 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 it's gonna take a long time. Hopefully we're going to have enough bags. As you can see, each different item is getting its own slots. I'm just hoping that these 7 bags are enough slots for all the different items, because if they're not, then we could run into a slight problem. I'm going to block the end of that belt off just in case that does happen. But it's claiming new slots less and less often now, so it is all starting to find its place in storage. And I know it looks like a mess, but it doesn't matter, because we are going to link all these up to stock links. We'll be able to access it the same way as we do with this one. It doesn't matter what these bags look like, it just matters that we've got enough different slots. So we've almost filled up 4 bags of different types of items so far, which has me slightly concerned. So I think I'm going to make a couple more. Right, we've now got 10 backpacks here, and we've still got the 3 over here for stackable items. I think these ones are actually holding up quite well. We're still on the first one, and most of it's just obituaries. And over here, we're halfway through bag number 6 out of 10. But we have completely emptied 2 vaults. We've got the next 4 that are emptying quite nicely as well. And once they're done, I'm going to be able to empty these ones. I'm just going to stick a couple of tunnels here, I think, is my plan. So if I do this and move that, put the tunnels in there, block the end of that row, then put a brass funnel in. I guess we can probably start emptying those ones as well. If we're really smart, what we could probably do, extend those tunnels out, extend this belt, get all these emptying as well. Perfect. Short while later, all of our vaults are now empty. We ended up filling up almost 7 bags of stuff. In fact, we went just over 7. And we've got a bag and a half of non-stackables. Overall, not too bad. Now what I need to do is clear this room out. So we're actually going to need to remove pretty much everything from down here. But I do want to keep the drop-off system intact. And of course, the power. And we know that we need to get items into that chute over there to get them all going upwards. But other than that, we can do away with the rest of this. Well, this place certainly looks a lot bigger and a lot more messy. But we've got plenty of space to put in a storage system, and then we're probably going to have plenty of space left over for other stuff as well, I guess. And it's definitely going to need a tidy up at the back there. But now let's get this storage system moved. So we can probably actually start right here. Our plan is quite simply just to move all these backpacks over here, and we're going to try and keep them in the same order that we offloaded things earlier, just to make sure that the empty bags stay down the far end. Oh, although, thinking about it, I am going to need to shuffle things down, because of course we do want to make sure that we're filtering out the items that are not stackable. So let's get that in first, because I don't know how big that's going to be. Now I'm thinking, for the non-stackable items, what I might do is actually just put in a couple of smaller vaults here. And if we just put a couple of funnels on the back here, make sure that only the non-stackable items can go in, then we can start with the backpacks right here. Okay, I've got all my unstackables in here, and we've now got a whole bunch of bags set up as well. Now I need to set up a system so that we can actually drop this stuff off. So belts like that with a couple of of tunnels. That should get things where we need them. Next up, we're going to need packages. We're going to need one for each vault there. And I've just realized I do need to move all these bags down by a block because we're going to need space in front of this one for a packager. Chutes beneath each one of these. Then we're going to need stock links linked up to this guy. Stick those on top of all of these and these. He shoots on them. That's going to let us recall stuff from the bags. Still need to be able to put stuff in them, however, so let's get the funnels on the back. All right, now we just need the collection system for when we request things. We need to basically get this belt stuff all the way up to there. I guess it makes most sense just to move our fan. So let's put the fan there. And we just need chutes going up this way. Now we just need power, which we should be able to steal from the belt down here. And the items are going downwards, which tells me the fan's blowing the wrong way. So let's stick another gearbox in there. Items moving upwards. Awesome. In theory, our new delivery system should work. Let's go test it. So we do see all of our stuff. That's good. And we can request something. Not making it through, though. Where did that package go? Don't think it likes these tunnels. Yeah, look. Not to worry. We can just put a vault there like that. With an output funnel. Input funnel. Nope. That's an input funnel. Get those chutes back in. And now let's try that again. I request a bit of gold. Yep, there we go. The system works. And if we dump stuff into the system, then that is quite happily going into the bags. Excellent. So we can now store a whole lot more items, but we've got a lot less light, apparently, because of the skeleton. This place looks terrible now, to be honest. And I think I want to make this look a little bit nicer as well. I did quite like knowing how much stuff was in each bag, and I think we should be able to squeeze a threshold switch on the top of each one of these, just like that, which means we can have some display links and maybe some signs as well, just to show us how much space we've got in each one. Maybe I should rehang some of these lights that got destroyed. Just had a creeper explode, which has me concerned. There doesn't appear to be any damage on my boat. We are right next to the creeper farm. Let's quickly grab something to eat and see if there's anything going wrong in there. Yep, this will definitely be the problem. Let's quickly get this blocked off before we have any more explosions. Right, well, I'm not entirely sure what would have caused that, considering how long this thing's been running for. Absolutely fine. But I guess we've got some repair work to do. Right, there we go. That's now fixed again. But while I was fixing that, I did have to come over here and grab some more tinted glass. And something I noticed was when I had the threshold switches on top of the bags, like that, you'll see that it actually powers this. And it also says it's not attached to a block. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to read how full these things are. Which isn't the worst news ever. It just means we're going to have to keep an eye on it a bit more, I guess. For now, I think it's time to try and make this downstairs area look a little bit nicer, get it all finished up, and then we can move on with the next thing on our list. Short while later, and I've tidied up a little bit more down here. We've got the cabin area at the back sorted out. We've got a big old pile of bread, because I didn't really know what else to do with that space. Just going to add a little bit more clutter around this area. That's better. But then these stairs go up to the captain's cabin here, which doesn't have a door anymore. Let's quickly put that back. And of course, these stairs go up to the deck at the front. And we've got plenty of space left over. So yeah, if you've got any ideas of what we can do down here, anything useful we could potentially put here, do let me know. But I think it's time to crack out the clipboard and we can tick off that. So next up, we're going to start making some progress towards our dark prismarine farm. Starting off with some bridges. So if we have a quick look out here, what we've currently got is our big forts on this little peak. Then we've got a small platform on this peak. Don't really know what we're going to do with that yet. I'm kind of tempted to turn it into a dock that actually just has a couple of boats parked up, but I don't really know yet. Then, of course, we've got our gold farm. We have a tiny little nub in here. And then we start getting onto the larger bits of land on this side. So we have a choice. We can either bridge over this way and build our prismarine farm over here, which is quite a nice spot. I do quite like that. Or do we carry on round this way? And I'm not sure how the bridges around here would work. I think our best bet might actually be to sort of come down here and actually lower the bridge a little bit. Have a small balcony platform there. Then connect that over to this side with another small little platform. And then from here, we can have stairs that connect up to both of these areas. Getting to this side over here would be a bit more tricky because we've got this big sort of fort building there. So we'd probably actually need to come down here and then sort of wrap around the side and then connect up diagonally. I don't think I fancy that right now, so let's do the one over this side. Let's figure this one out. I think it's going to be slightly easier for us to get our head round, and that means we can get to building a prismarine farm much sooner. And this is going to be a dark prismarine farm, which means we're going to need prismarine shards, and we have a recipe here where we can actually get them from lapis. And the good thing about lapis is we can actually make lapis from blue dye and quartz, But we can get blue dye from crushing down lapis, and we actually get 2, sometimes even 3. So as long as we prep the system with a little bit of lapis, we should be able to use that to make the blue dye, which we can then combine with quartz from over here to make more blue dye by making more lapis. Then we haunt the lapis to get prismarine shards, and then we can craft them into dark prismarine with a little bit of black dye, which we'll probably get from coal, which we'll get from burning trees. So yeah, I guess we do actually need quite a bit of space for this farm, don't we? Big old chain of things we're going to need to do, starting with a tree farm. So yeah, I'm thinking definitely head over in this direction, then we can just sort of take up as much space as we need. So I need to get lots of wood, I need to figure out how we're going to attach to this side of the mountain, so we might as well stick on some music and have a little time lapse of watching me struggle to do this. Well, the weather's been absolutely awful for the entirety of that build, and it's still snowing now, but we now have an extra bridge in, which I think is looking very cool. So this just links down to this small platform on this side, then carries over to this platform here, and then goes up to the top of the ledge here. But before we can start building, I do need to tidy up this area too, and it's quite an interesting shape, this mountain. So what we're probably going to do is have a higher up bit here, then we'll lower this bit down, we'll get rid of the snow and just put some back in when we need to. I want to keep this bit clear so that we can link to another bridge over that way. But we've also got this lower area here, which is quite nice. So we could put a platform in here, get some more buildings in. I don't know. We're probably going to need quite a lot of space down here, so I imagine that's probably going to happen. So before we can go any further, I do just need to tidy up this bit here and give us somewhere to start working. And of course, I need to actually work out exactly what farms we need to build. But before we do that, what I have done is I've made a book called One Night Only. And I noticed Foxy is online at the moment, so we're going to go give him one of these. But this is the official invite to come to see Steam Park, the theme park we built in Perfect World 2. So there's just a bit of info about the park there, and basically inviting them to sign up at the Black Powder Bay Emporium. And then hopefully next episode we can do a trip with everyone over there. But as I say, Foxy is online, so let's go see him. And actually, I did go see Foxy earlier, or rather he came to see me to bring me over here where he's been building lots of cool stuff. But I actually forgot to hit record. But look at this, he started his sort of cyberpunk shantytown type area, and it's looking absolutely amazing. And he did go on to explain he's going to be putting sort of like big pillars that go up to a platform at the top, which is where all the rich people are going to live. And the people down the bottom here get their water from the Trough Water Company, which is basically just the runoff from all the rich people, which is disgusting. But I love what he's done with the place. All the signs look absolutely incredible. Clutter looks awesome. I'm loving these little stalls he's got going on as well. This is very, very cool. And I think I see Foxy over there. Let's go say hello. Well, 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 if it isn't the fox without a tail.
That's me.
What's going on down here? New dyeing station.
Yeah, I want it to work with everything that can be dyed, but I'm struggling.
Well, I'm not here to talk about your problems, so...
Oh, good. Excellent.
I've got your present, Foxy.
A present?
Yes, a formal invitation.
Ooh, theme park visit, finally.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, like, Kev's building an amusement park, and I was chatting to him about it, and I mentioned that I built a theme park, and we're going over there so Kev can, have a look, get a bit of inspiration and whatnot. But yes. I also owe Chosen and Eggs a trip from last season, from the whole out-of-court settlement thing, so I figured, hey, why not just invite everyone? So
that's a good idea. Wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know when it's happening yet. It should be later on this week, but I'll let you know. But if you are interested, there's a sign-up book in the Black Powder Bay Emporium.
Do I have to pay for it?
No. It's a free visit, one night only, exclusive, event. The doors were shuttered 1.5 years ago, and they're finally reopening for one night.
Woo, woo. Oh, nice. Does everything still work?
I think so. I've got it back up on a server. I've got it back up on a server, and when I walk around, if I basically like the music kind of makes it a little bit laggy, but also adds so much to the experience. So I've got a controller, so I can turn the music on and off as we visit the different areas, in the hope that it'll be a bit smoother, and in the hope that you guys also get to hear the music.
Gotcha. Understood. Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I look forward to that. while you're here, Miss Beardstone, I would like you to explain to the viewers why, because they haven't found out yet, I went all that way in the nether twice to 160,000 blocks out in the overworld, and it was a complete waste of time.
Well, I realised that was really far. And I wouldn't go to get my RV if it was that far away. And I kind of needed him to get his RV so that he could restock it with Prismarine so I could buy some Prismarine. So, so I just gave him the compass that went straight to the van, which was about 1,000 blocks away. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So your instructions to me was to go millions of blocks. So I thought, 160,000 blocks was... I don't think you find it is what you said. What a waste of time. So, yeah, I need some compensation for my waste of time. I've done over an hour's worth of flying for that.
Yeah, and you did get compensation. You're a cabin lord now.
There's no... Okay. Fine. Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, okay? It was really far. I think I said about 20,000 blocks away, use the nether, but I think you took that as go 20,000 blocks in the nether.
Yeah.
So it was just a miscommunication, Foxy. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's
so
fine.
It's your fault.
And 100%.
So it's cost me an hour of my time.
Yeah.
And death and lots of problems.
Yeah. But you got some content, right?
Got some content. Right, okay. Speaking of some content, Mr. Beardstone, now it's nighttime. Have you seen my new builds?
I have. I was literally. I realised I actually forgot to record last time I came over here.
Have you seen the food shop?
I didn't look too closely. I had a little look around, but not rat.
It's not rat, Miss Beardstone.
It's not rat.
No.
It kind of looks a bit like rat.
No, it's not. It's it's a zombified piglin. It's not rat.
I feel like I wouldn't have thought it was rat if the shop wasn't called Not Rat.
Right. It might be a bit of rat.
It might be a bit of rat.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone.
Okay. I won't. Yeah. There we go, that's looking better. So we've got a bit more of an even space to work with over here, and then it does raise up on this side, and I've actually left that hollow, because I'm thinking that could be a good place to grow some trees if we make this bit look nice. But before we do anything, we need a factory diagram. We need to work out exactly what it is we're building over here. Now, the end result we want is dark prismarine. To get that, we need to craft prismarine shards, which we don't have, so we're going to pretend that's what that is. And black dye. And I'm just going to swap those round so we've got better space. So to get the black dye should be nice and easy. We just need to build a tree farm. Then we need to smelt the logs down into charcoal, and then we can crush that down into black dye. To get the prismarine shards, we need to haunt lapis. Now to get lapis, we actually need to mix blue dye and nether quartz. And to get blue dye, we actually just need lapis. So the nether quartz we can bring in from over there, so that's not a problem. Well, getting it over to here might be a problem, but we know we've got lots. And then this is going to make an infinite lapis machine, basically. And so I guess that's actually probably about it. I don't think we need to do anything else, do we? I've forgotten something. Let's just go back through the path. So dark prismarine, prismarine shard, which we get from haunting lapis. We get lapis from blue dye and nether quartz. And we get blue dye from crushing lapis. Not such a big farm after all. I guess the only real big bit is the tree farm. So I think that's maybe what I'm going to start with. I'm going to wrap some kind of a building around this area here, and then we're going to stick a tree farm in it. One cheeky time-lapse later, and we've got another build. This is the Withered Tree Trading Co. And the main aim of this building, of course, is to make charcoal. However, we've got a reasonable amount of space in here, so we might end up with a whole prismarine farm up in this building. So upstairs, we've got all this space here. Then we've got this room on this floor here, and of course we'll be growing the trees down the bottom, but I do still need to add some lighting, clearly, but I do still need to lower the floor in here a little bit more, just so we've got plenty of space for trees to actually grow. But I'm quite pleased with how that's come out so far. We'll probably still add some more details and things as we connect up to the other platforms, but we've actually nearly gone the whole way across this mountain now, from there over to here, which isn't bad going, but we've still got plenty of space to put factories down, which is good, because we're going to need a lot of them moving forward. But now we've got a shell over here to work with. Let's quickly sort out this down here. I think we want to go down maybe another 3 blocks or so. So I got a bit carried away down here. We now have an absolutely ginormous room, and we even have this bit here which we can turn into a sort of loading bay skyport type thing, but I'm probably going to have to remove that. That could be a problem for that. Because we are, of course, going to need to bring quartz over here from over there somewhere. So we could just have, like, a little boat that goes around. That's my current thinking, at least. And clearly, I need to add some lighting down here as well. And I'm aware the room's looking very bland at the moment, but we will, of course, sort that out once we've actually built the tree farm. And I think we're going to keep things simple with the tree farm. We'll just have a mechanical bearing in the middle here that's going to spin round and chop down all the trees. And then we'll just use the rest of this area for decoration, I think. And of course, collecting the wood and taking it up to be cooked. Now, before we can do any of those things, we're first going to need power. And I'm thinking maybe just jamming it in one of these corners would be good. Probably over on this side. So we need to do the same as we did on the other ones. Dig down to wire 175, which is right about here. Then we're going to put down a chain drive and then get this connected up to the first one that we put down, which we were smart about and actually created an entrance into, which I believe is down here. No, this one. Here we go. It should just be able to connect straight up to there. And we need shafts all the way up to the surface. And we're just going to dig out a little bit under the farm so we can put in our mechanical bearing. Go right there. I want to put in a speed controller here. We'll just get that connected up. And then we can send that up to the top floor. Excellent. And this thing should also have power now. Let's just make sure. Yep, perfect. A little bit fast, maybe. There we go. That's better. Now let's quickly build the tree farm. It should be fairly straightforward. So this should work as our basic tree farm. We've got storage. We've got the saws to chop down the trees themselves. We've got a portable storage interface, which is going to connect to one over there. And then we've got the deployer's filter to just put down birch saplings. Once we activate that, it should just start spinning round and round and round. I should probably give these guys some saplings to get started. And what I want to do over here on the chute is make sure it can only ever take out 64 saplings at a time. So it must be exactly 64, which means it should always have a little bit of backup in here should these guys run out. So let's get that started. It's going the wrong way. Excellent. Switch direction here. Go, that's better. We're getting all of the saplings planted. Wonderful. Now to get the wood out and upstairs, we're just going to do this and have a line of chutes in the wall. Send them up there. Now I just need to get power to the fan over here and the belt. So now we just need a volt up here. In fact, let's make it a vertical one. Put a funnel on there. Now what I need to do is burn off all these sticks and saplings that we don't want. So we're going to put a filter in there that basically says don't let birch logs through, but everything else will drop down. Then we just need a cauldron and a bucket of lava. Now what we need to do is to cook the wood into charcoal and then crush it down into black dye. So we'll need to pull the charcoal out, then drop it onto a belt, bolt at the end. And we're going to need a fan there. So that's got the fan working. We just need to put some lava here. And I'm going to need to get power to these belts. There we go. That's those sorted. Also need power to this belt. Now, to make sure we keep the lava contained, we're going to use a copycat slice there and there. Then we'll filter out all the birch logs from there, get those cooked up. And as soon as we get some charcoal, I'll put a filter on this. So let's put that in there. And once again, we're not burning due to our amazing armor. Let's filter for charcoal in that. Okay, now we need to crush the charcoal. I reckon we could probably get away with doing that right here. If we do something like that, we'll end up with black dye in here. Just need to grab some crushing wheels. Now, something else I want to do up here is get in some chain conveyors. What I actually want to do is have bolts here and there, which will basically take the overload, because having lots of charcoal being created here is very helpful, because that's what my ship runs on. I actually need to keep topping it up with charcoal in order to keep the power station running. So yes, we want it being converted into black dye, but we also want some being sent off over here. Let's get the dye going through first. Oh, we're getting grey dye as well. Interesting. Interesting, but not useful. We don't need grey dye, so I'm going to dispose of that as well. I just need another cauldron and another bucket of lava. So we're just going to filter out the grey dye and once again drop that into lava. Now, I also need to attach the chain conveyor, so let's do that here. Now, what I need to do is add a packager there and another one here. This frog guy is going to connect up to there, and we're going to call him Beardstone Charcoal. We're going to put a stock link and a factory gauge on there. Another stock link on there. Frog. Set to send only. Set that to charcoal. We'll set this guy to request 50 stacks. Now, I don't expect him to start getting any until this is actually full up with black dye. But hopefully, eventually, we will start getting some charcoal over there. So I have actually taken down my factory diagram. Oh, hello. Get out of it. So I have taken down the factory diagram, but we know what we need to do. And to be honest, we've got plenty of space, so I think we're going to be okay. And we're going to do the lapis creation and processing up here. But before we could get to that, Eggs logged on, so we went and paid him a visit to invite him to the theme park. Do you remember last season where we had that slight out-of-court settlement? I figured as it's been about a year, now's the time. So we're doing a theme park visit.
Oh!
Yeah, and that's what that book is. It's just to basically tell you to go sign up if you're interested, Eggs.
I'm interested.
And this place looks insane.
You know what? Now that you're here, me and Trolash had some fun yesterday. He's test run the entire thing, or at least as far as he could get. I have decided, with his advice, that I'm gonna be opening it up for beta test runs. That means it's not dialed in, it's not perfected. There's a lot of things that are going to be added to it, but the core mechanisms, the core idea of the maze works and it's functional. Do you want to be a beta tester or not?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you your keycard. Follow me.
Ooh, keycard. And I can just basically run it whenever I like over the next few weeks, and then.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not.
Is it like a one and done thing?
No, you keep going. I'll explain it. Wait here. I'll go and grab your keycard. That's the entrance. It'll tell you who's playing at the moment. And you start your mission with here. You click the bed. You put your stuff in that chest right there, and then this is your keycard. That's your ID. You put your ID in the hatch. You'll get a token over here, and then you put the token right here in the hatch.
And that's how I get in and how it knows it's me. Yeah. Well, I'm very excited. I have a feeling at the moment my next episode is basically going to be a trip to a theme park and then me running around a maze screaming. It's going to be fantastic. We also invited Dave.
Yo!
And Lexi.
Well, I like the sound of that.
But now let's get back to the build. So I'm thinking with this farm, what I'm going to do is maybe work my way backwards a little bit. So we know that the last step is going to be to haunt lapis. So let's put that potentially here. Then we'll put a filter for prismarine shards on there. Let's get that all powered as well. Excellent. Next up, we need a mixer. Now, what we've got to try and do is work out how this is going to go. So let's imagine we've got quartz coming in on this line, and we need blue dye coming in on this line, and that's going to produce lapis for us. But that lapis, we need to actually split. So if we put a tunnel there, ideally what we want is half coming this way, which we'll deposit onto here, and the other half wants to come round this way and get crushed. Now, can I sneak in some crushing wheels there? See if we can get this powered as well. So they want to go like that. That one wants to be flipped round. And we need a gearbox in there. So that's got everything going around the right way. So let's jam a mixer on there. Then get our crushing wheels there. And I think that should work. Because basically, every time lapis comes through, we'll have one go over there and get turned into prismarine. And if there's space, another one will come this way, get turned into blue dye, and then go back in and make more lapis. And we can get 2 to 3 blue dye from every piece of lapis, so as long as at least half of it goes this way, we should always be in credit for it, hopefully. So all we need to do now is get the quartz up here. I have a feeling that could be easier said than done. So to get the quartz up to the top there, I'm going to put a chute that goes underground. That comes out here. That's quite handy, actually. Creeper blowing up half my farm, however, not so handy. So I think ideally what I want to have here would be a fan that's pushing things up the tube. Gonna want a belt there. Grab quartz out of this box. Gonna need to power the belt as well. So let's see if we can do all of this in one go here. Because we can still power from here. And there we go. Items are moving upwards. That belt's going in the right direction. Now I just need to load up this box with quartz, and that will get that into location. And I need to prime this system with some lapis. So let's just make that a bit easier for ourselves. And I guess we can try this out. We'll load up a bunch of quartz in here. And then that should be making its way, yep, over here and into the bowl. Perfect. And if we give this one some lapis, that's going to give us blue dye, which is going around here, which is already full, that basin. Excellent. And that's going to make lapis for us. That's going to go half in there, half this way. That's then going to get turned into, hopefully, prismarine shards. Oh, and I forgot, we can also get prismarine crystals from this. Let me quickly rotate that round for a minute just to stop anything coming out. We're going to need to redo that filter to allow prismarine crystals as well. Excellent. Finally, we are making prismarine. The final step here is going to be to craft dark prismarine, and let's do that down here maybe. I think I may have this working. We just need to wait for more prismarine to come through, but basically the prismarine should come and drop down onto these belts, which will feed directly into this mechanical crafter. And because I've got all the outside connected, yep, there we go. Perfect. Oh, yes, look at that. Wonderful. And what we're also doing for the black dye is we're feeding that in with a mechanical arm from the back here. We're making sure this box always has a couple of stacks of black dye in, which is being sent over by these frogs and collected by this one. And then all the dark prismarine goes into this vault over here. So it is very compact around the back here, but it does the job. And at the moment, this is going to keep on running until we run out of quartz. But we did bring quite a lot with us, about 20,000 or so. So I guess the next thing to do would be to have some kind of small boat that actually brings the quartz from there over to here. But that's going to involve building an entire transport network. So we're going to save that for the future, I think. But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.